Hello and welcome to the Long Island Weather Reports. Tonight we will go over the weather through tomorrow as well as looking at February statistics, which will hopefully be up, and talking about the wind and rain as well. Good deal of clouds around, some breaks tonight, but more or less good deal of clouds, and it's getting very windy out there. We have a wind advisory in effect. Finally, they issued a wind advisory. Skies tonight, well, I did take some pictures of the sky and see some breaks in the clouds. There was a lot of wind, though, out there by the lake here in Rockville Center. Tremendous amount of, that's a lot of wind, but that is a cool-looking sky. Really, really nice-looking sky right there. Really very pretty, actually, with the breaks. There was some good air quality out there. Definitely refreshing out there. Got a little bit of moonlight out there as well. But the clouds, again, we have passing clouds. You can see a good amount of clouds because we are in a cyclonic flow. Let's go over our current conditions out there because the winds, they're up there. We got that wind advisory in effect, and 39 degrees at Islip, winds gusting to 29. We got a wind gust to 37 at JFK Airport. It looks like they gusted to 46 earlier. 50-mile-an-hour wind gust at Stony Brook, top of the hospital there. 44-mile-an-hour wind gust over there at west-northwest wind at 32, gusting to 44 at White Plains. So, yeah, very windy out there. That's why we have that wind advisory. And that wind advisory will be through 4 p.m. tomorrow. So, we'll start with the wind first and go over the max wind gust reports from the storms yesterday. And you'll see here that we have wind gusts of 48. Let's see, we see some more remarkable ones. 58-mile-an-hour winds. That's, again, at the top of Stony Brook Hospital. Orient Point got gusted to 54 miles an hour. 52 miles an hour at Great Gull Island. 50 miles an hour at West Gilgo Beach. So, yeah, some pretty strong winds in Suffolk County. And some of the maritime stations, too. Kings Point gusted to 52 miles an hour. Now, let's go and look at some of these rainfall reports as well. So we're going to look at that as well. I'm just going to do this. Let's just open a new window here. Let's see if we can do that. Oh, I can't do that. Okay, whatever. We'll just... Usually they have this and they have it open a new window, so I can kind of move this into place a little bit better. I wish they would have this, but we'll just do this. So, looking at rainfall reports, take a look at some of these rainfall reports here that we have in effect. Just let me pause the video for a moment so I can get this clearer. I had to figure out how to get this to zoom in because I don't know if you could see the rainfall totals. So as you can see, Connecticut, wow, they got a lot of rain. Ridgefield 2.72, Shelton 2.68, Sandy Hook 2.64. So it looks like northern central Connecticut, New Canaan 2.26, and then less as you get toward the coast. But still very respectable rainfall amounts. Connecticut also in Middlesex County and eastern Connecticut. Wow, eastern Connecticut. Look at what eastern Connecticut got. Middlesex County, which is eastern Connecticut, they've got 2.51 inches. And then look at New Haven County here, a max of 2.81 inches. That's nearly 3 inches of rain in Meriden. So Wallingford, 2.50 inches. Woodbridge, 2.17 inches. So some of these areas in Connecticut really got a lot. I mean, London, 1.91 in Colchester. And going to northern Jersey, you got Tenafly, 1.73. Essex County, 1.75. Hudson County and Harrison, 1.93. So we overperformed. They said 1.5 would be the high end amount, but we actually overperformed with the rainfall for once. Passaic County, North Caldwell, 1.74 inches. Union County, Summit, 1.56 inches. Newark Airport, 1.53 inches. In New York, Fordham and the Bronx, 1.78 inches. In Brooklyn, it just says Brooklyn, 1.79 inches. Sheepshead Bay, 1.53. Looking at Nassau County, high amount. Look at this, over 2 inches in Albertson, 2.10 inches in Albertson. I'll focus on these numbers because this is Long Island. Port Washington, 1.87. Herrick's 1.81, Syosset 1.75, Old Westbury 1.74, Great Neck 1.68, Massapequa Park 1.56. Not reading all the numbers. Levittown 1.41, Wantagh 1.38, Port Washington 1.30. So a little less as you get toward the South Shore, I guess. But then East Hill's got 1.11. So it's kind of random depending on where the showers hit. In Central Park, it was 1.71 inches of rain. Upstate in Orange County, looks like they got a respectable amount too. Putnam County and Lake Carmel, 1.86. Queens, Jackson Heights saw 1.83 inches. LaGuardia saw 1.54 inches. JFK saw 1.50 inches. In Staten Island, not as much there, around 1.20 inches. Rockland County, some of those areas also got close to 2 inches of rain. In Suffolk County did very well, the north central part. Stony Brook, 2.08 inches. Comac, 2.05 inches. Smithtown, 1.97 inches. Amityville, 1.80. So even on the South Shore, I guess, looks like a good amount. Nesconset, 1.66 inches. Miller Place, 1.57. Trying to find some numbers by Bright Bayshore, 1.50. Center Reach, 1.40. Islip Airport, 1.34 inches. So a little less, I guess, as you head east. 1.19 in Selden. Blue Point got 1.07. Ridge got 0.96. Yeah, the Pine Barrens look like they got gypped. But that number was at, it might have still been raining by then, midnight. I don't know. Upton, 1.91 inches of rain. All right, that was at 7 a.m. So, yeah, it looks like the further east you go, it seems like the less rain fell in Suffolk County. Then again, that area isn't in a severe drought to begin with. Westchester also seeing a lot of rain. Hartsdale, 2.14 inches as well. And then we even have some maritime station readings, too, as well. So, that's what we got over there for the rainfall totals. And again, we went over the winds, the max wind gusts, again yesterday. And again, the highest gust on Long Island seems to be Stony Brook, but that's the top of the hospital at 159-foot elevation. But Orient got 54 miles an hour. Great Gull Island, 52 miles an hour. So still respectable winds, and it's getting pretty windy out there again, so we may actually top some of those numbers in those locations, which is, again, pretty interesting, to say the least. So let's go back to the map for a minute, and we will go ahead and look at some of our high temperatures and our high temperatures, because Islip did get a record high today of 61 degrees. A record high at Islip. We'll talk about that in a minute. 59. So it was very warm today. It got very warm before the cold air came in. Oddly enough, warmer on Long Island than in New Jersey, where it was 54 for a high in Toms River. Looking at lows, probably the current temperatures, I would imagine. Yeah. So the mid-30s that we're dealing with right now. Let's look at precipitation on the map as well. We could do, I guess, 36 hours here. And it kind of shows you where the heavier rain amounts tended to be. North Shore, Suffolk, Nassau County, less south as you headed east in even parts of the South Shore of Suffolk County. And again, the higher amounts, Connecticut, that's where you really got the higher amounts. And let's see how New Jersey did here as far as coastal New Jersey and the Jersey Shore area, because that is where they really needed some rainfall. And it looks like 1.26 at Miller Air Park. But in Town, Toms River, it's saying 1.75. As you head south, the numbers go up. 2 inches, it looks like, at Atlantic City Airport. I guess that's Atlantic City Airport right over there. Let me see. No, that's Oswego Lake, but that is in the Pine Barrens, so that's good. 2.23 in some of these LBI, some of these coastal areas here. So this is a pretty respectable amount for the Pine Barrens areas, and we'll have to see if that puts a dent in the drought at all. I'm trying to see Atlantic City Airport here. I think this is it. 1.86 inches. So, yeah, decent amount of rain over there, which is good. It was needed, and definitely should help with the drought situation. And look at those winds just going. Oh, LaGuardia just gusted to 51. And at 54 mile an hour wind gust at Teterboro right now. So we are really, the winds are really going. That's why we have that wind advisory in effect right now. And I'm wondering if it's causing any power outages. Well, let's go and find out. We'll look at the power outage map for Long Island, I guess. We'll see. We don't have too many power outages, but it's possible we may see some isolated power outages tonight. So let's go look at the statistics for today. And there you see there's an Islip. There should be a record report. Actually, 2 record reports here we have. Islip had a record high temperature today of 60 degrees. That broke the old record of 59 degrees set in 2004. So there's one. And then we have Bridgeport, which tied its record of 59. So very warm today, record highs. And again, for those who think it's been such a cold winter, why do we keep breaking record highs, but we have yet to break any record lows? That's kind of the point. It wasn't that cold of a winter, at least not here. So not for the Northeast. Let's look at today's daily climatological report for Islip. There's your 60, your record high. That is 15 degrees above normal. We ran 16 degrees above normal for the day. Month to date at Islip, we have 1.34 inches of rain. So Central Park probably did a little bit better with the rainfall. They are up to 1.71 inches of rain. So that is very good news. So let's go and look at, so there's a lot to talk about tonight. So let's now go and look at the, got to go to the climate data here, and hopefully they will have their Islip climate, it's the February Islip monthly weather summary up here. Let's hope they do. They finally did release it. They didn't release it until March 4th. So that kind of tells you the effects of what's happening in our federal government. So our average maximum high was 41.4. The normal value is 41.0. That's 0.4 degrees above normal. The average minimum, 27.3. Normally, it's 25.5. That's 1.8 degrees above normal. So that gives us a mean of 34.3, which is 1 degree above normal. Not surprising. Precipitation was a little bit above normal, 3.72. Snowfall, that was probably below normal. Let's see what we got here. Got to scroll down here. Snowfall for the month was 6.9 inches. Normally, we're supposed to see 9.4 inches, so below normal snowfall. Typically what we deal with in the winter here. Let's go look at Central Park now. Notice it's taking a little while to load, too. Let's see if we can load the Central Park one if it doesn't want to load. I don't know what's going on, but again, we're seeing the government being broken by we know who. So here's an interesting thing. 40.9 for an average maximum high at Central Park. So Central Park was a completely different story, interestingly enough. 42.2 was the normal value. So they were 1.3 degrees below normal on the high. And for the mean, 35.0, which is 0.9 degrees below normal. So they were below normal at Central Park, but above normal at Islip. It's kind of interesting. I think it kind of showed that the role cloud cover played, I think, and there was a lot of it for February. Also interesting is that Central Park has below normal precipitation, 2.60 inches of precipitation. Normally it would be 3.19. Snowfall 7.1. That's below the normal of 10.1. So, yep, there you go. So let's look. We know all that. We got to go to the drought monitor next. It's Thursday. It's Drought Monitor Thursday. Let's take a look and see what's changed. And you can see here, it looks like a little bit has changed. They shaved that red back in Jersey now, mainly down to coastal Atlantic and Cape May counties. And now Ocean County is now just in a severe drought instead of extreme drought. Wasn't enough to get them out of the extreme drought, a severe drought, I guess. North of that, it's a moderate drought. New York City, Long Island, again, not seeing Suffolk County by and large is not in any drought at all. But East End is abnormally dry. Nassau County is still in a moderate drought, and there's a little area of yellow in extreme western Suffolk for abnormally dry. So that's what we got going on right with our drought situation. Let's look at the satellite again. You can see all the clouds that we have here, and we'll look at the CONUS here in a moment. So here's the CONUS view. Actually, I should probably put this back to, no, it already put itself back to 100. Okay. I had to figure out a way to zoom it in when I was reading those rainfall amounts so you could see them. You can see there's your low pressure system. There's another system here. But we are going to see fair weather build in. Let's look at the map here. And you see here that departing low, that's, again, a very strong low, very tight pressure gradient. You see all the isobars. That's where we're dealing with all the wind. So let's go take a look at the models here, and we're going to cover the weather through tomorrow. So that gradient is going to be with us tomorrow, through the night into tomorrow. and that means lots of wind. You can see that low over New England there, and there will be snow in Maine. And that wind machine is going to be with us until probably later tomorrow night. All right, so that is why we will continue to deal with these winds through tomorrow, and the wind advisory is in effect until 4 p.m. Might need it a little bit later. We'll look at some of the model guidance, and we'll see here. So let's look at the 0Z run of the HRRR. And first start with the dew points and wind flow. See how tight those isobars are again. So you can see those dew points do drop. Colder air moves in. Very strong winds. Tomorrow there will be a decent amount of cloud cover. We'll just take a look at the sound, and you can see a lot. You can see they're touching. So decent amount of stratocumulus like today. Maybe a few more breaks of sun. The Weather Service is saying it's going to be sunny. I'm not so sure about that. West winds, west-northwest winds are coming west toward the evening, and then they will get a little lighter, and the cold air advection starts waning by then. So let's look at our temperatures tonight. It's going to turn colder. Temperatures are dropping through the 30s. Will probably be around 30 degrees by the morning. And then for tomorrow, it will moderate. It will warm up, though. It will warm up despite the cloud cover. We'll probably get into the mid to upper 40s, maybe close to 50 if you're in New Jersey. And then tomorrow night, we'll probably drop back into the 30s again by evening. So let's look at the cloud cover, and you'll see that there's going to be a lot of cloud cover tomorrow. So you can see what happens. We might start off clear, but then there's a large area of stratocumulus that does develop in the middle of the day. But then it does kind of dissipate by later in the afternoon. So maybe we will be able to eke out. This is the latest run of the RGM here. Maybe we will be able to have a mostly sunny day. Those clouds kind of just come in over Long Island, maybe, and then they kind of just push away. Though this may be underdone, I have a feeling. All right, because again, we'll go to the HRRR. We'll look at the sounding again on that HRRR. And generally, when you're in a cyclonic flow like this, you're going to have a lot of instability stratoQ. Let's see if it's... All right, Jersey, they're close, but they're not quite touching. But let's see if it clears it out. We'll do 19Z. And, yeah, all right, it sort of does. Okay, so there may be a period of clouds in the middle of the day, and then toward later in the afternoon, it might clear up. We'll go ahead and look at Vent2 Sky as well, because we have to look at the wind gusts as well through tomorrow. You can see those winds are really cranking. And as we go into tomorrow, you'll see here, still dealing with these wind gusts pretty strong. 6 o'clock in the morning, we're still dealing with 46-mile-an-hour gusts, a little less over Jersey. But then the winds, again, howling. Here we are, 43 miles an hour, a little less in Jersey. Go to noon, still gusting close to 40. Still a lot of wind out here. So that's why we have that wind advisory. It's not until we get toward later in the evening that you start seeing the winds ease. But I think they should probably keep it up until 5 or 6 because they may linger around a little bit longer. Okay, clouds. So this is, we don't usually use this for clouds, but I'll show you what I mean with the StratoQ development. All right, 10 o'clock doesn't look so bad. Noon, you start seeing some of it. So we'll have to watch for that. There will be some clouds around, but it seems like this model has backed off a little bit on the cloudiness. Maybe toward the afternoon, I think we might see more in the way of clear skies. So that is going to wrap up this Long Island weather report. Have a good night.